This land of ours is under attack. Time has come, we're gonna take it back. Just wait and see. Don't tread on me. I won't sit back, stand idly by, and watch the heart of my nation die. Oh, not me. Don't tread on me. Don't tread on my Bible, don't tread on my guns, don't you tread on my faith in God's only son. Don't tread on me. Don't tread on me.
We got too many illegals next door.
Oh, report them, dude. You can anonymously report them now.
I want to, but I mean, I don't know if I should. I don't know if they're also illegal or not. I just want them to check into them.
Well, they're gonna go check it, and that the main media is telling everybody that they shouldn't have deported this guy. Dude, he was an illegal alien. He has been shown to be MS-13 gang member, and they send him back to his country of origin.
Yes. They just messed up and said he was a different gang, but that was the only thing that they messed up. Other than that, he was still a terrorist. And then not to mention, did you also hear what the Salvadorian president said today?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. What am I going to do? Smuggle him back into America?
Yeah. It was perfect. And then the guy said it very slowly, to the media, this is what happens, you take the person back that came here illegally, he was transported back. He's actually a citizen of El Salvador. We cannot go over there and kidnap him and bring him back.
Right.
Really slow to that CNN reporter.
I know. And then he said even the Supreme Court was 0-9 that he's not coming back. What, if we get rid of the media, things will smooth out in this country. Like Davey came over today, my buddy, and he goes, well, China is not putting up with this shit anymore and this and that. And I go, they have nowhere else to go. Now the EU is going to come to us. China's already made one attempt, but Trump told them no. They have nowhere else to go. And then Gene goes, last night he's telling me, China's depopulated like crazy. And that's like old news, man. They're like down to 800 million. I go, no, they're like 5 to 400 million left. They murdered all their damn people. Now they depopulated too much. And now they're screwed.
The only downside about that is I don't want to, but I'd like to go listen to his show for a minute to see if he actually repeated what you said, because a lot of what you said, he has said on the stage and the backer stage and the stage of the backer. I'll edit out the name or something, or actually I'm not even edit. We're getting to the point to where people need to start knowing about this. I'm not saying we're not defaming shit, dude. We are actually talking about our experiences. It would be the same as Trump saying stuff like that and be, we're suing him for defense. No, he's saying exactly what happened. This is exactly what happened. We're not,
Right. Well, honestly, my assessment of Gene, I know he exaggerates or whatever, but that dude has shortened his own life up. First of all, when you're not running in the spirit, because I was quoting Psalms 91 to him, you go, that's my favorite verse. And I'm going, how many times you read it? I'm thinking to myself, I read it all the time.
Start questioning the spirit, like they say. Ask him, like you say, starts off the part and then see if he finishes. Get away from familiarity phrases, because a lot of people could memorize them. Remember, he's very, very good at memorizing.
Oh, he is. When it comes to anything dealing with basically English, reading, all of that, he's very, very good at that stuff. Very good at remembering names. And he was asking me something about what does Semitic mean, and then he goes, because Sem, he said there's no H. He's been showing there's no H in Hebrew, and I go, yes there is, het and hey. So right there, they're spreading incorrect information. There is a H sound in Hebrew.
Yeah. Or
So,
was he
it-
probing?
I don't know, man, but you know, and he didn't know who he didn't understand that the that Noah's sons, all three of them, Joppa, Shem, and Ham. He didn't know who Joppa was either.
But you need to tell him to start reading the Bible and the books that they're from.
Yeah.
But no, what I'm saying is what you just did is you basically gave him about a month's worth of material for him. I'm not joking, man. I mean, I'm seeing right through it where what he's doing is he's probing. I don't know why. I don't know what was going on, but in the last week or so you're not frozen. Since we've been talking, or hasn't been talking, that Facebook has been showing how they do these kind of things, how CIA will come in and how they ask you questions, or how strangers can come in and just.
He was doing that. He was doing that. He was
get
probing.
you to ask.
I saw that.
Yeah.
So he was probing, but if he's going to repeat what I say, he needs to repeat what I say, the truth, and not, because he was lost, and I told him Ham was basically cursed by Noah because Ham made fun of Noah, because Noah, they grew a new vineyard after the flood. Well, everything's different, atmosphere, everything's different. So the vines made him drunk and he passed out in his skirt, his clothes. He was uncovered. That's all it was. Everybody's but Ham went in and raped his dad or something. I'm going, no. And then he goes out and tells his brothers that basically their dad passed out drunk and his freaking skirt is up around his ears, because he passed out. So the other two, Joppa and Shem, went in there and covered him up. But when he found out what Ham did, he came out and cursed him for dishonoring him as his father. So, yeah. And then, I said, well, Semitic, I said, most of the people call themselves Jews are not Yahudim. So that gave him a month's worth of material right there.
What's Yahudim? Actually,
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is instead of cutting this part out, the personal part I'm cutting out, we'll just see what's happening. We'll show people parallel, because the cream will rise to the top. Things.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we're truthful all the time or 100% correct on everything.
Oh, yeah, we could be wrong. I mean,
but we can admit it and we will correct ourselves.
Right. We'll come, because there's other truthers out there I watched, and they make a mistake. Next time they have the show, they come back and say, hey, right here, and I said this, that was wrong. This is what it was. And they'll come back and tell you.
Yeah.
Even the news media is supposed to do that. They don't do that anymore. Like that whatever he or she was from MSNBC or wherever she was from when she was questioning Trump and the president in El Salvador. They would explain it to her, and she still come back with the same question.
You know what I was told that what that is? There's a certain way that's it, where people are not listening to the question anymore. They're starting to pay attention to the way that person's being a brat. It's a CIA tactic.
Well, yeah, now it made them look really stupid.
Well, no, not just that, but I'm talking about it distracts people and they think about that person being a brat than what the interviewer was talking about prior to it.
Right, but even you had all of them were up there just railing, and then Trump goes, "You people are really, really." I think he called them wicked.
Oh, there was a whole bunch of back and forth. And then Steve, remember last week I told you about the I'll get to this one in a second.
Yeah.
This is that one I talked about where he puts his stainless steel stuff in Shabbat mode. But this is where
Shabbat mode.
Yeah, trust me, you're gonna love it. But this is the where he was burping and stuff. Or not, but you'll see it in a minute.
I'm having so much fun with my Gibson Birdland guitar. Look at this Gibson Birdland guitar. You know, Calvin Ross. By the way, I have so much to celebrate. I'm like drunk on celebrating positive spirit, positive energy, positive piss and vinegar, positive attitude. It's all about positive attitude. If I had some sleep, I'd be downright good looking and dangerous. And people get such a kick out of my absolute irreverent uninhibitedness. Do you have absolute, unhinged, parameterless, irreverent outrage and defiance in your life? You need to get you some. Barack. People get so angry when I'm having a good time. And the more angry idiots get, the better I have a good time. So thank you, idiots. Thank you, idiots, for always lying. Always lying. Well, he adopted a 9-year-old. That's hysterical. The false accusations that they bombard on me. Remember the game department in California? His name was John Laughlin, I think. He's a bad man. The man has no soul. He's an anti-hunter, and he violates his very job description every day because he is not managing the sacred wildlife of California based on science. He's managing it based on the feces and needle monsters of San Francisco. John Laughlin, you're a punk. No, really. And Jack Schmidt, the U.S. attorney in Alaska, you don't even qualify as a punk. You're some kind of sub-punk, a spineless sheep. Let me talk to John Laughlin of California Fish and Game and Jack Schmidt, the U.S. attorney from Alaska. I think he's been fired since because he was so inept, such a monster. Let me speak to them in their language. Hey, Lon Horiachi, who shot Vicky Weaver and her son Sam. The ATF punks who raided the Branch Davidians. Get a spine. The Michigan State Police who have a child molestation rainbow flag celebration. The Michigan State Police. The FBI that raided Mar-a-Lago. The FBI that raided Roger Stone's apartment at his home. The ATF that killed the Little Rock, Arkansas airport manager, kicking down his door because there was some allegation of paperwork mistakes. You soulless, spineless little pussies. Stand up for something, would you? Somebody tells you to go raid Mar-a-Lago, say, I can't do that. And then go right to the media and blow the whistles. Maybe the Michigan State Police should be blowing whistles instead of what they're blowing at the pride flag. What happened to you people? And if you think I'm being mean-spirited, you have no idea how mean-spirited, how horrible you are. Texas Parks and Wildlife, Michigan Department of Natural Resources, Michigan Natural Resource Commission. How do you get up every day and go, I think I'll lie to everybody again today. Yeah, honey, give me some coffee. I'm going to go on my lie orgy today. God help us all. That's why I have a Real America's Voice.
Yeah, I thought that thing was interesting. That was what I was talking about when he was talking about Barack.
Yeah, that was good.
But yeah, I thought that was quite funny. That was all 2 weeks ago. Probably like 3 weeks from when I'm actually going to post this. But anyway, yeah, that I'll show you that Shabbat one. That thing was insane, man. Of how they act or react is interesting.
We can't use this feature or anything over here, but
You mean this? We can't do that on Shabbat?
can't use that. It's electric, but we have this feature. 3, 2, 1. Shabbos mode. That's really cool. That makes sure the temperature is always the same, so we're not altering anything electric. Open and close. It doesn't turn on or off the light. You use the oven or the stove because again that's electric, but check this out. Shabbos mode. That turns the whole entire thing into like a warming oven. We can open and close, it's not altering the temperature, and it has to be on the lowest temperature so as not to cook the food. There is some questions if there's liquid in the food, because the liquid can be brought to a boiling point and then cook something. And again, cooking is not allowed on Shabbos. These are not loopholes. These are the way to eat food on Shabbos. The dishwasher either, again, because it's electric, but some people load the dishwasher so right after you can actually please your wife by doing the dishes.
Allowed to use on Shabbos.
And before you have a comment, Steve, some of these comments are hilarious. In other words, a loophole. Got it.
What's the difference from opening a door and hitting the damn button? They see these guys, remember Yeshua said, you have made it impossible to follow the law.
You're right.
So I'm going to sit in a chair all day and crap and piss my pants because I'm not allowed to get up, unzip my pants, and sit on the commode. Oh, I'll sit on the commode, but I won't wipe my ass. How's that?
You can't flush or yeah. I mean, you know, the rules. This is what I was talking about every time I didn't know if you envisioned this or not, Steve, because I've heard about these rules a lot. I've heard about these rules a lot. And you're like, you kept saying humans' ways. I don't think you knew that it was this bad. But yeah, I mean, this is the point of ridiculousness. And this is where I say, I don't even know if I could be associated with when people go that far. Because I told the guys, I said, fine, you might as well go over to your power, hit the main breaker, and click it off. And go biblical time. If you really want to go there, go biblical time. I think they deleted my
don't
comment.
light an oil lamp because you shut the power off to the house.
Yeah.
They're missing the point. It's a time of reflection and worship. And the things you don't do commerce and you don't do things to make money. But you're going to go drive your car or even walk. Jesus and Yeshua, Yeshua traveled with the apostles on the Sabbath day. They walked.
I know. I know.
That is idiocracy to absolute point. That's as bad as what the rabbis used to do back in the day. So every 7th year, you would have to let the field rest. You could not do anything with it. Just let it grow. If you had some things growing, you could take a couple of things, but no harvesting. So what they did to navigate that or circumvent the law, I'll just sell it to a Gentile. Then he can farm it. And then after that year, then he just sells it back to me. I'm good to go again. Like, you don't think Yahuwah can see what the heck you're doing?
You're right.
Or is it this is so idiotic? They're making it impossible.
That's why, remember, so many or so few would make it through, too. It's not just the works, it's that, too. Some people will follow the wrong path, the wrong way. Oh, I have to do this. I have to turn off this. I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't do that. You know, there's so many can't do's. There's some times where, hey, you're traveling and you can't bring the food with you. You have a family with you. Yeah, you have to go stop somewhere to eat. Sometimes it happens. It's not like you're going to be shunned for it.
Right. Like say, for instance, you're traveling and you're in the Sabbath, you're traveling and you do stop at a restaurant. God's not going to condemn you for that. We're not supposed to do commerce, but if that happens, it happens. You do your best, to abstain from commerce or whatever, but you got to cook your food. What's the difference between cooking your food and dishing it up on the Sabbath? So you cook your food before the Sabbath. So it's cooked. What do? Put it in the microwave to heat it up? You got to scoop it out. So that's work.
Yeah, where do you draw the line is what you're getting at. Yeah. And
right,
then, hey,
exactly.
remember the preacher or the rabbi, You know, they're getting paid too. For example, like they have a Mormon church not too far from us, and right on the church grounds, there's a nice house and everything, and that's where the pastor is. You know,
Yeah.
you know, same thing with him. He makes money when he goes over and does that, or they pay him for it, or there's a wage. It's the same thing. Like, where do you draw the line?
Right, right. It's just like when you talk about tithing and stuff. Tithing is more than just giving money. It's going to the homeless shelters and helping. It's just it's not always about giving the money to the congregation. Because if you got a mega church and they're all giving money, you're going to create corruption with the preacher and that family that is the preacher and the deacons that are on the take from the offering every Sunday too.
You saw that what 2 weeks ago, Steve, where that preacher said, "Lock the doors." I don't know if I played that or not.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just, there's also worse than that. Remember I told you during this pandemic or pandemic, Rona, as people would know it.
Yeah.
Anyways, the churches, most of them shut their doors. I know a lot of them had surplus in their bank accounts. They did not help out people with their electric bills, or when they got fired because they were standing up with Yahuwah and saying, "No, this does not belong in my body, and it is not a vaccine." Oh, by the way, that's another thing, Steve. I want to say on that. Nebraska. I'm on a Nebraska little chat thing here, and these guys are not very woke. It's quite interesting. I talked to them and I said, well, because they said the measles vaccine or the measles broke out in Texas. And, you know, there's only hundreds of people that got it. I go, yeah, the measles vaccine actually worked. It was one of those that were actually a
It
vaccine.
was back then it worked. I wouldn't trust it now.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about, you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about it now, but I mean, it obviously has worked. Otherwise, we would have millions of it breaking out from all the illegal immigrants coming in, bringing it in. They didn't believe me there was illegal immigrants bringing it in because a lot of those are not vaccinated or immunized, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Yeah. In order for a vaccine to work, it actually has to counteract something. That's how it was actually classified as vaccine. They might have added stuff to it, aluminums and other stuff to our vaccines over the years, or even.
Well, I think the newer stuff they have, but when I was a kid and I got the polio shot, the TB stuff, you know, test, it didn't do a thing to me. It didn't hurt me at all. But now, I think it's different. Because now when you get the shingles shot, you get 2 shots instead of 1. Then I talked to a bioengineer the other day or a couple months ago regarding this. He says, technically, when you've had the chicken pox, you already have the markers, so you should not get shingles. So they're doing something to us, giving us shingles and making us get another shot. Pneumococcal pneumonia. You know who gets that? It's been advertised a lot to get the vaccine for pneumococcal pneumonia. That a few years ago was only HIV patients got that. So because of the vaccinations, I've noticed a lot of famous people have passed away. And Brandon works with this lady, and she got all the shots. And she admitted to him the other day that she is screwed up from all the shots that she got. They messed her up. She is a mess now.
They say there's a reverse, but I don't know if there really is one. They need to. These people also they are going to be held accountable. Remember that waiver that they had of, you know, that they're not reliable for anything that they're taking. All of us, like you and me, are that's the point right there, not to take it.
Right. Oh yeah. If they don't take it, you know, why should I take it? Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It's like, if the mainstream is speaking, always do the opposite they are speaking. Seriously.
Yeah.
Because they're generally leading you as sheep, the Pied Piper, leaving you, running right off a cliff. But they're not jumping off the cliff. They got a little ledge they jump on and everybody, it keeps going.
Yep, little netting.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Did you hear about this thing, Steve? I think this is why you're being called to the desert.
What's that?
One of the kind museum in Arizona where you can explore real nuclear missile bunker.
Oh, I've seen. Yeah, I know about that.
And some of this might be familiar to you.
Well, that's old stuff. That was before my time, but I do know about it though.
Well, you can see Grandpa's time.
Yeah, that would be my grandpa's what he worked on. That's how old those suckers are, but they were very effective and reliable. We were using the down stages for a long time to launch stuff into space with at
Yeah.
Northern Vandenberg. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
They're still trying to do some of that today. Oh, by the way, look what I came across. It's not going to make you happy. If it actually lets us. We don't need to listen to that crap. Yes, that's a full man proposing to a little girl. Not a midget, a little girl.
What country's this in?
Oh, land.
Oh, dude.
I don't know. I mean, we could look in the comments, but I'm pretty sure.
You see, this is the deal. There was a little girl like that got married to a full-grown man, and she bled to death.
Here's the other one. I don't know if it's the same one because this one looks darker. I didn't want to interrupt you. I mean,
No, that's not the same one.
Got the hot music playing. This is definitely Middle East, but I don't know how far. It can't be too far Middle East because I can see faces.
Oh,
Not funny.
they're little girls.
No, you're right. No, that part is disgusting. Why do you think I
How-
still have this up, Steve?
Yeah, I know. How does a man fully grown get turned on by looking at a little girl?
Amen. It's
You
not.
still have that father, even though she may be your daughter, you're going to have that father tendency towards her, not sexual, but like protection type of thing.
Yep. That's
These
why.
guys- go ahead, man.
Oh no, I was gonna say that's why men at a certain age, like when they get 50s or 60s, they stop looking at girls at in their 20s because they're too young and they feel like that. You're right, that's their
Right.
daughter, and they can't do that.
I'm 63. So I go to the gym. I mean, you see some women that are, but I have to look away. But anyways, besides the point, I would never date probably somebody under 45. That would be my absolute bottom line. Seriously. I don't know how these guys do it with a 20-year-old girl. It's like you're stealing her life. You are, because you're old. You've been through that. Your biologic's going to change where you're not going to want to be, as sexually driven as you were from, the age of 15 to 45 or something.
Yeah, but there was still no.
You slow down a lot, huh?
I was gonna say there's still no justification
No.
for the. We got to wind back to that because people are gonna think we blow it off easily, but no, there's still absolutely no justification for doing that to a little girl. And you're right, making them bleed to death or other internal issues can happen. Not to mention, it's just it's their childhood, and I honestly think that's why the deep state and Satanists is what we should call them. They're not the elite, and Trump's right. They're not the elite. Anyways, they're the ones that are, I'm assuming, causing women to have periods. There's got to be a certain reason for them to do that, in their way, because they, at a certain age, they say they're too old. Like I heard The Rock interview a young girl. How old are you? 15? Oh, you're too old. It's like,
That's what he said to her.
literally, yes, The Rock.
So you know what
Johnson.
he is then.
Pedo.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, as a 63-year-old man, you can't, okay? You can't, It won't work.
I don't think there's no
It's
fixing
a
any of
little
it.
girl.
I don't
I'm
even think of
sorry.
you think a mental insane asylum, or do you really think execution is probably the only thing for this? Because they say, oh, you could castrate them, but that doesn't stop them from doing or continuing to try to do perverted ways, getting close to kids in any way that they can.
Yeah, I don't know if that's where Yahuwah steps in, the Holy Spirit, and the word, his word through Yeshua, and to change that person. That is possible. But if they don't, I don't see how they ever get rid of that. Because they're not getting rid of the demon that's helping them, that's ushering them along to be of that nature.
That's literally down if you really want to boil it down to, that's what it is, the demon. People don't want to talk about that it's literally demons that are causing these kind of issues. That's why you're like, oh, well, how do you do this? And or some of these people are not human beings. They
Right.
think differently than you and I. They think like
Right.
animals.
They're I telling you, the Nephilim bloodline, because even in Genesis it said some survived, and we know on Gilgamesh's ark some survived too, according to the writings of Gilgamesh, because the ark that Ron Wyatt found had metal rivets in it. Noah's ark did not have metal rivets in it, and the metal rivets were made out of titanium, aluminum, and steel. Go figure that one out. Yeah. So yeah, and besides, that ark is sitting in totally the wrong place, because Noah and his sons came east from Shinar, I think. So yeah, that's a whole nother story. But anyways, this thing with the pedophilia, these men marrying little girls, like I was just over my son's house, my granddaughter and my grandson. My granddaughter's like 3.5, my grandson's 8. So he's getting the stage where, he's starting to move to a different level. But my granddaughter is still at that really cute, lovable stage. And to ever hurt a child, and one that trusts so much, children trust us adults, okay? And you defile that trust. Like Yeshua said, it'd be better ye bet not been born. Or you tie a millstone around your neck and cast yourself into the deepest part of the sea.
Amen.
Yep. This is completely not tolerable to touch a child in such manner. Believe me, the heavens know who you are. You're being judged. You're being weighed, measured, and you come up short. Come up wanting. It's a very bad, evil thing. But like we said, there's people that are in our government that don't have a conscience. They act like the Nephilim, because the Nephilim were always continuously with evil thought. They did not have one good thought in them. Not one good thought. And they were the offsprings of the angels who made themselves in the flesh. Enoch talks about how they made themselves in the flesh. And because even the book of Ezra talks about later on, when you're in the kingdom of heaven, that you can be anything you want to be. So there's a lot there. But anyways, yeah, this pedophilia, human trafficking, this has got to end. It's worse now than any time in the history of our planet.
And a lot of people in the age of information are completely ignorant or don't care. Like I told you, my aunt fought completely. I said, hey, I almost got the entire family to watch Sound of Freedom over at the house.
Yeah.
No, I'm not watching that shit. The news told me it's not good.
Okay, fine. I mean, she more or less. That's exactly what she said in less words. I
Yeah.
forgot exactly what she said. That was like 2 Christmases ago. Now it's full out war. It's basically this, Steve, is what's going on right now. Well, not that one. I was going to show you the music in a second. It's basically this.
It's only a matter of time before the far right and the alt-right and Nazis and the fascists and all the other genocidal fuckwits commit enough terrible actions that the left are unified against. And the thing is that the left has been demoralized. The left really doesn't have much left to go from it. If it comes to war, as there is indeed a quite good chance of it, then they are going to fight hard, and they are going to fight bloody, they are going to fight dirty, and they are going to win. So my advice to you, if you are alt-right, if you are fascist, if you are Nazi, if you are genocidal, if you are in any way a fan of the Trump administration, is to start undermining it, and start undermining it fast. Become very vocal about how you are undermining it. Because when the end of the Trump administration comes, you want to say that you were an ally who helped destroy the Trump administration. Because God help you if you are found to be one of those people who backed the Trump administration when the left comes for you. Because the left will come for you, one way or the other.
That was from years ago. And what happens if I grab his glasses? I can't see you, but you better be undermining Trump.
Yeah. They don't realize that they are following the path of the brown shirt fascist Nazis of World War II. They suppress speech, and if you think differently, they're coming after you. How many Trump supporters do you see talking like that?
We only say, hey, if you force tyranny any further, you're getting war. We actually, well, in this day and age, we drew a line, but our line was a lot further than the very first one. Very first one was 2%. Oh, you're going to 5%. Tea in the water.
Yeah, absolutely right.
And wartime. This one is like, it's okay. It's okay.
Well, it's you get pushed. And right now we elected President Trump because if he didn't get elected, it would have been pushed too far.
But they were warning us what was happening now. I mean, not from what he said, it was towards the end, but they're saying now they're pushing it up basically. Instead of waiting until the end, they're pushing up the burning of the stuff, the Tesla and all the other, they're even going back after MAGA stuff again, MAGA vehicles, instead of just Teslas, which is some of it's stupid. Let me try to break a window of a bulletproof glass with a brick. Did you fail school? Are you that dumb?
Well, most of them, because the colleges now are getting nailed, all their federal funds are being pulled, and a lot of the colleges, they have endowments in the billions of dollars. They talk about rich and corporations not paying taxes. You realize their endowments are constantly invested by hedge fund managers, and they make crazy profits.
Do you remember why, Steve? You remember why they have this slush fund? You know why? Because remember, we've discussed with Emery Smith, because that's the person we've heard it from, and others, 200 or the 300, the corporation. And that's one of the, was a lot of the Ivy League schools, and those are the ones where you get a piece of this alien technology. You try to reverse
Right.
engineer it. You get that Stanford gets this one. Harvard gets this one. Someone other, another one of the ones gets this one. Someone over in France gets one. Gets another one. And then they all start collaborating together, but it's all compartmentalized. There's
Well,
only
yeah.
very few that know, but you're right. That's how it gets laundered through.
That's how it gets done. Also, to get a degree, you've got to take a bunch of classes that have nothing to do with the degree you want to get. How does that work? Are they trying to make you think a certain way?
Yeah, I thought you were supposed to go there. Like what I understood of college, Steve, is like if you go in for ASE certification, you're not going to go in and go get a home ec ed, or something, or a liberal arts or whatever other, crazy ass thing. You're going to go in there. You're going to work on mechanics. You're going to have this week. You have this track, this week, this week, this one, this week, this one, sometimes books, sometimes in the, on hands with engines and parts, and you're learning. Then you have, there's all sorts of stuff to it. It's not, you're not going off and doing something else. You're not learning like, here, let me go do brain surgery another day.
Right.
You're right. There's got to be something there.
So you have to pay for those classes, and they're a lot of money to boot. And you don't need them. You don't want them. You don't need them. They don't have anything to do with what you're going for.
Speaking about that, remember the degree, Steve? You just talked about that. A lot of college students cannot get work because they got, like an arts degree or something, or not something.
Yeah.
Very
Or
stupid.
business, what cracks me up is business degrees.
Yeah.
So a lot of the business degrees are theoretical business in how they run, not real life how they run. Theoretical. Oh, this is how it works. Have you ever had a business, Mr. Professor? No. You ever even had a lemonade stand? No. Why are they teaching business?
They need to have the field trip, even in college, to going to like small businesses, not Walmart, small business. Even though people don't understand the Walmarts, the Wendy's, the Burger Kings, a lot of those are franchise. Someone might own that, but Wendy's and Burger King and all them want their cuts, period. You don't understand that. Joe Blow might own that particular one there. That's why, if you start going back to what happened, I believe it was Wisconsin and Kansas, that all the stuff, or Wichita, where all that stuff burned. I remember, what was it, 5 years before 2020?
Yeah.
That very first one during Trump's one, I think it was 2018 or something like that, first riots and all that. And go back and find out who owned those things, because the insurance and all that was same thing in DC. Remember before a lot of these places burned?
All the buildings we walked by that a few weeks previously, Antifa and BLM were burning them and breaking windows and looting. Oh, let me go loot this and protest. Oh, man, I love those tennis shoes. I'm going to go loot. Yep. I'm protesting Trump. Sorry, but yeah, I mean, it's just stupid.
No, you're right. But the reason why I was saying that is you got to find out who owns them. Like Trump, like Q said, follow the money. And I guarantee you that it was laundering of money going that way. And same thing with this. That's what I was trying to get at with all the.
Because they're going to launder money through those damaged businesses, and this costs this much to fix. Yeah, I know what you mean.
And then in school they teach you the same thing, because you see Caitlin Bennett is back at it again. Interviewing people. Remember her? She had a kid, and it's been a couple of years, but I liked her. She interviewed a bunch of, she would pretend to be with them, the liberals, and then let them speak and stuff like that. And
yeah,
she actually has security around her because people like to attack her. She's one of those kind of, the demons hate her.
Yep.
But anyways, I mean, it's just quite interesting to do, or to see that kind of stuff happening. But I don't know why it continuously happens. We need to stop that, and the food. I know they stopped the dyes, but there's just too much poison around. I don't know if they need to start taking stuff off shelves.
Well, I was listening the other day, and they are trying to do it as quickly as they can, but the food manufacturers are going to tie it up in court. And there's such an inventory and such a process they already have, just like you showed me the chemically grown chicken. Yeah. So, and I heard Chick-fil-A was going to start buying that stuff. Rumor, but I heard it from somebody directly. I'm not going to get into saying
They bought it before. I'm gonna say it. They bought it before. They already had it because I've only eaten there maybe 3 times. Every time I've had, didn't feel good afterwards. It never tasted like real chicken breast because I've had different chicken breasts. You know,
Yeah.
I cook my own food. I rarely eat out because of food is franken food nowadays. Even the food
Well,
you get in grocery stores, but I try to go to meat lockers and get to the point to where I literally have to grow my own food.
I got to call the rancher again too to see if he's got any. I just probably going to buy a bunch of hamburger this time. You know,
Yeah.
real hamburger. But okay, no, and the problem is like me, if I skip a couple of days in the gym, and I have a physical job in my shop, it's physical. I mean, the morning it's mental, being a trader, not traitor, trader. You know, day trader, or just for the first hour every morning. I'll tell people that much. But then I go out in the shop and I build cars, you know, for the next couple of years. But if I don't go to the gym, my energy levels start to fall off. And you can actually, when you get in your mid 60s, you can feel your muscle mass will diminish. But if you go to the gym and keep working out and you eat properly and sleep properly, you can maintain a very good muscle mass and your energy levels stay up. Me, I work out. I do like the stair machine. And then I go ahead and I do mobility. I even stand on this half jelly ball that's like all soft. I stand on it and do deep knee bends. And it's hard because you got to keep yourself balanced. But then I do, you know, regular free weights, squats, everything else too. And it does help. And then when I'm done, I go sit in the steam room. Then I'll cool down. Then I'll go sit in the sauna. I try to do 15-minute intervals each, 3 times each. And then after that, then the next day, you know, your energy's good, your morale, your mental part is doing well. And part of it helps you mentally also. And it also helps significantly if you pray like Daniel 3 times a day.
Yeah.
And it helps. And read Psalms 91 at least once a day.
Well, it doesn't hurt to talk to him constantly. You
No.
can't talk to him like a
Pray
second
and-
person.
Yeah.
No. I mean, not just the praying part, Steve. I mean, I'm talking about you can also, well, some people do that 3 times a day, Steve, when they eat. You know, not everybody eats once or twice a day, like you know, me or
I
you.
usually eat like once a day.
Yeah, because the sluggish part. But what I was getting at about that part is the you can talk to him too. You know, oh, like I'll go somewhere and go, oh, I forgot something. You know, or I forgot about this, or you know, just pray to him, and the next thing you know, poop comes in. But you have to thank too. You can't just. It's not a genie.
We have to be very grateful for the gifts and opportunities that we have been given, the blessings.
Yeah.
Very important. You know, I pray, I speak with you quite a bit during the day, but those 3 times I do pray. I mean, that's kind of personal, but I'm following Daniel. I'm following the ancient ways, you know, when it comes to that kind of stuff. And then when you're praying, then it's not like you're kind of like during the day, you're constantly speaking to the spirit. You know, this is where you're intense and this is where you're just focused on that for a few minutes 3 times a day. And it will make a difference. And especially Psalms 91 too. That's really an important passage, chapter. And 70 and 40 and 23, those are all there. A lot of them are, and you'll gravitate towards certain ones. But I would encourage to read Psalms 91 once a day, you know, and even say the Our Father, because that's, you know, you go back to the Hebrew Matthew 1 before it was translated into Greek and use that one. That's the one I use. So, I mean, you can use both, but that's a whole nother. We've got so many avenues we could go down and just keep on going and going and going. But also too, what's his name? Used to be on Fox News. We'll have to pull. Let me try to find that. They were bringing up 9/11. One of the main guys actually has whistleblower documentation about 9/11. Let me see if I can find it here real quick. I'll text it to you. See if not, we'll do it next time. Because I was in the other room when I was watching it, and it's not like I was on my computer where I could save it to a file.
Yeah. Well, we're on Facebook now. I don't know what to post, but we're on Facebook.
Oh yeah, how's that?
Well, you could actually even start off one too, Steve. If you actually go in your profile, you could start off a second profile through your original profile.
Oh, can I? Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And what I'm going to do too, because once I get to a certain point on the vehicles, when I'm done with my work in the morning, first hour, because it is work, it is a job. But anyways, and I'll wind it down the car world. I'll be more in here putting stuff together, doing more research. I restarted my Hebrew classes, and just going forward. I mean, I want to share with everything that I can with everybody, and then take the information we share and go ahead and search for yourself.
Oh, by the way, start mentioning for free, because there's too many people that wanna back. It has to be on the backstage. I have rent to pay. It's like, why don't you do something that you know does that another way? Get another avenue, or sell
Right.
merchandise, or do
Well,
something.
that's what I do as a day trader. That's my living in the morning, so I don't have to do this other stuff for a living. But being a day trader, I can do, you know, it's kind of like, as a day trader, you could do pretty darn good. You only have to work an hour every day, maybe an hour in the afternoon if you want. But there's and then a lot of times 2-3 days a week, just research and study and put stuff together and share it with people. I mean, if people want to send donations, that's cool too, but it's not, we don't have the backstage where, oh yeah, pay $9 in a month and you get in our backstage. And you get backstage, it's a bunch of crazy crap half the time. I mean, I hate to say it, but a lot of it goes off the rails. Goes a little too far into the boonies, if you know what I mean.
Or the poor aspect of it, of, you know, it's hard to afford that kind of thing. Or if you're, you know, decently off, then you start getting $5 for this guy, $10 for that guy, $5 for this guy. You know, next thing you know, it's like a $60, $80, $100, you know, or $200. You know, it's all starts adding up for information that should be openly and free to the public, and it should be, you know, should not be charged for.
Right. Absolutely.
And then it's not, I get, you know, oh, you've done this much, because I've heard that same person you talked about this evening say, oh, I've done this many hours of research. How do we know? You know, I mean, it's not just that. There's other people that give in their life. What are you going to give to them? You know,
Yeah,
Phil Schneider.
You know, there's a lot of us that have put ourselves on the line. And one aspect, we didn't realize how much danger we were actually in by the stuff we were doing.
Well, you and me, actually, I don't know. Steve, next time, I think we need to do a DC. I'm going to sneak the weather modification in here when you sit back in your chair, though.
Oh, okay.
But,
Okay. Yeah. I'll look for that. I know exactly what podcast that was at, but go ahead and do that.
I promise the people of the well, actually, first, before weather modification, I come across this guy.
Hey, y'all, come look at this. Guys like Travis Scott quoting Aleister Krauss, which was the guy who wrote the Satanic Bible. He quotes scriptures in his music. He quotes scriptures in his raps from the Satanic Bible. And you got him on your iPod right now. You listen to that junk all week long, and you come on Wednesday night and hope that Pastor John could help your mind in an hour. Nah, bruh. That's impossible. You've been listening to the word all week long. You've been listening to preaching all week long. The words from the music gets in your mind whether you want them to get in your mind or not. That's why when you was in grade school, they didn't teach you your ABCs by saying, everybody say A, B. No, they said A, B, C, D, E, F, because they know, they've been known that music, repetition, and deep memory are uniquely connected. If you stop the music and you read the lyrics, stop them, turn the music off. Just turn it off. Take a deep breath, pull it up, turn the volume all the way down, because now on iTunes you can click on the lyric side and you can just read the lyrics of the song. Just read the lyrics. Just read the lyrics. Read what the lyrics are saying. See if you want to do any of those things that what they're saying. Just see if that's okay with your mama, okay with your daddy. Just look at the empty seat beside you and say, Jesus, is this okay with you? Can I listen to this? Is this all right? You cool with that? Self-image. Hey, y'all, go look at this.
Yeah. I see that even happen in rock and roll. I was listening to some 90s rock. I was like, okay, the crap now is crap. So I go back and listen to it. I was like, whoa, wait a second. A lot of this is demonic, talking about, I think I was listening to, man, who was it? I want to say Power Man, but that's not it. It was the rock guy with the, blonde hair in the front. Offspring. I was listening to Offspring, one of their 3 or 4 songs that are the get-ups, and yes, just listening to the lyrics were very, very demonic. Something about dance, sucker dance, basically sounding like a puppeteer, like Satan's running them and everything. And yeah, it was a whole thing.
Yeah, I remember like a lot of the Billy Idol songs I used to listen to and dance to as a kid. Some of them were pretty provocative.
But it was a thing back in the day, right?
And yeah,
grab the lady by the hand. Oh wow, yeah. Well, and also
remember that? To grab her by the ears. Never mind. We won't go into that.
I'm surprised it was a her, because if you've seen him dancing with, well, I guess I've heard, what's his name? The guy from Rolling Stone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nick Jagger. What? Nick? Yeah. Nick. Yeah.
Rick Jagger or something like that. Nick.
Yeah, Rick. Or yeah, I don't know anymore, man.
Mick Jagger.
Nick Jagger. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things that we stopped caring about. It's almost like when I watch that American news and they go, oh, it's sports time. I go, great. Who cares? Yeah. It's bread and circus, guys. Bread and circus. It's a distraction to what they're doing right now. That's all it is.
Oh, yeah, a lot of stuff is a distraction. And a lot of this world keeps us distracted. It's like I was telling my daughter, a lot of the software, like I went in today to pay the mortgage and their software system was acting up. And it's like, so I had to deal with that. And then look, I was trying to get on the computer today and I just re-downloaded a new antivirus, and I think that's what screwed something up. But then it eventually worked again, but I had to fight with it. And then my daughter said she went to the gym today, and their computer shut down. So we got a lot of stuff. We've become way, way too complicated. This stuff isn't helping us. It's taking up our time.
Yep, it's going to get worse because of China starting to invest into AI, and Trump wants to start investing into AI. I'm not saying stop, but I'm saying that you're right. There's a point to where it's limited technology because otherwise you let it run over. I get that we're gonna go into the space age and we need that kind of technology, but I'm already starting to see it. You wave your phone, you wave your card. 2 more minutes, and you're gonna be waving your hand to go pay for your stuff. I see people do it. I go, no. As long as they have that slot, I'll stick it in there. The lady goes, no, you can put it over there. Or dude says, put it over there. Nope. I will put it in that slot because I will not. That's the mark. That's the start of the mark of the beast. The Bible has
Yeah.
warned us about it.
Yeah, I don't know so much. And personally, to me, like if you're a believer and you believe in Yeshua the Messiah, that you're already marked as his. You already have his mark. But if you worship and you, like, for instance, like the music you're just talking about, if you're running those lyrics through your head all the time, who are you worshiping?
And
You're marked for that worship, for the beast. That is a mark.
did I send that Michael Jackson thing to you? Or Michael Jackson says the reason why it's 3 repetitions is because it's literally casting spells on you. And not to mention, remember, 3s. Witches do spells in 3s because it's the most powerful.
Oh, yeah.
They do in 3s.
And
And
it makes sense.
you
The
know who they're
third and
mimicking, Steve. Before you continue, you know who they're mimicking, right? The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
That they're actually all one.
Yeah.
That Trinity thing is like they're really one. It's not like there's 3 separate entities. They are all one. Like your body, soul, and spirit. You're one, but yet all those have different aspects.
I was just saying they're trying to always mimic God, and you know,
Yeah.
there's always proof everywhere about it.
Well, I think on the lunar landers, I think they were landing on the 33rd parallel on the first one. 33rd, 333.
Oh,
Masonic.
speaking about that, by the way, I want to show you before I mention the comment about it. You heard what happened today, didn't you?
On which, no.
The Tweedledee and Tweedledum landing and Tweedledummer landing. And the hold on, give me 1 second. Oh, well,
All
this
right.
did, but this. All these ladies landed, but this is what was on their uniform.
Where'd they land?
I don't know. I didn't pay too close attention. They shot up and shot down. The only comments I was thinking about is, man, that thing either smells massively like perfume or really stinky, like, you know, rotten crotch. You know, with all these nothing but ladies.
I wouldn't say rotten crotch, but so what space agency are they part of?
I don't know. I didn't follow any of this. It was all over the news today. I didn't know you. I thought you heard about it. They just went up and came back down.
Was this not in a? This wasn't in a SpaceX spacecraft.
I'm gonna have to stop sharing it. I'll do my research and I'll show you the video. I haven't shared the videos, but I didn't mean rotten crotch. I meant, you know, nasty crotch smell.
Oh, yeah. You might want to edit that out.
They
We
still,
don't want to go too far that way.
you saw the well, no, it's Katy Perry. You know who that dude is, don't you?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
They keep switching this crap. I'm trying to find out where the saved reel is. I'm also trying not to share stuff because certain people see my stuff.